In these dark days, the Ghost of Kyiv is a story that gives courage and hope to the people of Ukraine. The military has put up a brave fight against the Russian invasion, and one particularly exceptional fighter pilot has become a folk hero. He is only known as the Ghost of Kyiv, and he is said to have brought down 7 Russian planes on his own since the invasion began. It's impossible to believe. So in today's video, we'll take a look inside the Ghost of Kyiv's MiG-29 fighter jet. What's the big deal about the jet and the pilot? What made him a hero among the people? Is there even an actual Ghost of Kyiv? However, before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this and hit the bell symbol to get notified of our newest videos, and don't forget to thumbs up this video. Is the Ghost of Kyiv real? As war rages on in Ukraine following Russia's invasion, reports are circulating that a lone Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter pilot shot down 7 Russian jets in a single day, gaining the moniker Ghost of Kyiv on the internet. Memes and scuttlebutts of the Ghost of Kyiv are flying around in aviation and military circles online. However, no official confirmation of such a brilliant pilot has been made thus far. Still, the downing of 7 Russian aircraft by Ukrainian forces since the start of the conflict has been confirmed. However, this does not necessarily mean anything significant is happening with so much ground to cover. It's more likely that Russian planes have been downed in multiple places during various skirmishes in Ukraine. The Ghost of Kyiv isn't likely, or are we missing something? Just because something isn't likely doesn't rule out the possibility of such a feat, right? These Russian fighters are some of Russia's most capable and advanced platforms, and allegedly a single MiG-29 Fulcrum pilot shot down 1 Su-27 flanker, an MiG-29 Fulcrum, 2 Su-25 Frogfoot close air support jets, and 2 Su-35 flanker ES. Isn't it fantastic? Hold on a second. I think you need to grasp the enormity of this before you proceed. The Su-25 Frogfoots are classified as fighters. However, they were never intended for air-to-air combat. In some aspects, these planes are similar to America's own A-10 Thunderbolt II fighter jet, which can battle in the sky but only as a last choice. Su-27 flankers, on the other hand, are super maneuverable fighters meant to battle with America's best Cold War jets, like the F-14 Tomcat and F-15 Eagle. The Su-35 is a modernized version of the Su-27 that is even more capable and dangerous in the air. In the past, there have been claims that the Su-35 may be a match for the F-22 in visual range, but it's a claim that's unlikely to come to fruition because an F-22 would be able to engage an Su-35 before the Russians even realized it was there. Even the shot-down MiG-29 is a formidable Soviet-era plane in its own right. And all these 7 Russian fighters were taken down by the Ghost of Kyiv's MiG-29 fighter jet. Now that you've seen the magnitude of the undertaking, don't you agree? The Mikoyan MiG-29, often known as the Fulcrum in NATO reporting, is a Soviet air superiority fighter developed in the 1970s to combat directly the competent American fighters such as the F-16 Fighting Falcon and the aforementioned F-15 Eagle. It's a twin-engine fighter designed for air-to-air combat before being repurposed for other missions. Ukraine has a fleet of 37 MiG-29s according to reports from 2019. These fighters are nearly 57 feet long and have a wingspan of just over 37 feet. They are powered by 2 Kilimov RD-33 afterburning turbofan engines, each capable of producing 18,340 pounds of thrust under the afterburner. As a result, this fighter is capable of Mach 2.25 maneuvers and is rated for 9G maneuvers. A total of 8,800 pounds of weaponry may be carried by the MiG-29, which has 7 weapon stations, 3 under each wing and a single hardpoint in the middle of the aircraft. It also has a single 30mm autocannon on board with 150 rounds. That's a total beast. There are a few rays of optimism that the Ghost of Kyiv is real, such as this video published by the Ukrainian Armed Forces, which shows a Ukrainian pilot in an MiG-29 shooting down a Russian fighter, apparently an Su-27 or Su-35. The lack of an air brake, different nose fairings, and different landing gear layout for an Su-35 against an Su-27 are the most apparent visual signals for an Su-35 versus an Su-27 from this distance. While this film is fascinating to see, some have questioned its authenticity. If you follow the footage back to its source, the description indicates that the air conflict was captured using DCS, or Digital Combat Simulator. Among aviation enthusiasts, DCS is a very popular combat flight simulator. The creator even wrote, "This footage is from DCS, but it was made out of respect for the Ghost of Kyiv if he is real. May God be with him. If he is fake, I pray for more like him." According to a spokesperson for Digital Combat Simulator World, the material is indeed from the game. On Twitter, a photo of a helmeted pilot in a cockpit was recently shared, with the individual identified as the Ghost of Kyiv. The name Vladimir Abdonov is circulating, as are different photographs purporting to be of him. However, if Vladimir Abdonov exists, he is not the individual seen in this photograph. Some of the photographs are blatantly fake. A so-called noise analysis with an image processing application, for example, can reveal that the following image has been manipulated. When photos are manipulated, observable traces in the noise are frequently left behind. In this scenario, this may be seen on the pilot's head, the badge on his arm, and the Ukrainian flag in the backdrop. A reverse image search confirms the hunch is fake. Years ago, a similar photo surfaced online, but with a different head, a different emblem on the arm, and no flag in the backdrop. A gray maple leaf, a symbol used by the Royal Canadian Air Force, can be seen on the jet behind the pilot if you look attentively. This was most likely overlooked when the image was modified, and it indicates that the image is most likely from Canada. Similar techniques can be employed to demonstrate that a head has been switched in this picture. The General Staff of Ukraine's Armed Forces distributed the original image. It depicts fallen Marine Vitaly Skakun, who was posthumously honored by President Volodymyr Zelensky with the title Hero of Ukraine. Skakun is said to have risked his life by blowing up a bridge to halt the advance of a Russian tank column. The Ghost of Kyiv is probably just an urban legend that people wish to believe in because it feels good to have a heroic character in a disastrous situation. As such, as many of us would like to believe that the Ghost of Kyiv was a fighter ace, a flying ace is a military aviator credited with downing 5 or more enemy aircraft in aerial combat. There is no factual evidence to support this claim. Of course, it's difficult to know what's really going on in Ukraine as the fighting continues, but specific hard facts make this legend appear dubious. To begin with, shooting down 7 enemy fighters in a single day would necessitate a sizable air-to-air capability. The MiG-29 can carry 6 air-to-air missiles, including Ukraine's R-27R SARH medium-range missile, R-27T medium-range missile, and R-73 short-range missile. With only one weapon for each encounter, it would be nearly impossible for a single fighter to score 6 kills in a single sortie. So, in order for the Ghost of Kyiv to be true, the pilot would have had to fly numerous sorties in a single day, rearming swiftly between each. Again, it is feasible, but improbable. When you consider that the MiG-29 Ukrainian pilots fly and the weapons they use are essentially identical to the Russian MiG-29s and their loadouts, the odds of a Russian MiG-29 being downed by a Ukrainian countermeasure are even more remote than before. Consider American fighter pilots taking on F-16s. They'd be well versed in their adversaries' capabilities and tactics. Of course, with combat going on in Ukraine and the country's fate still undetermined, determine the authenticity of allegations like those surrounding the Ghost of Kyiv. Is it possible? Yes. Is it possible that it's true? Most likely not. No one knows for sure if he is real or not right now. In the end, it doesn't matter if one Ukrainian pilot shot down 7 Russian fighters or if 7 different Ukrainian pilots each shot down 1. These brave men and women are fighting for their very survival of their nation. That warrants respect, ace or not. And as a supporter of both aviation and democracy, I also want to believe in the Ghost of Kyiv. In the comments section below, we would love to know your thoughts on the Ghost of Kyiv and his MiG-29 fighter jet. Like always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more updates and new content. See you soon.